Hello, Namaskar, and welcome to Tathastu ICS. Today, let's talk about something that is quietly shaping the global development. That is, several countries have reduced their funding to the United Nations. The same United Nations which has emerged from the ashes of the Second World War to foster peace, to foster growth, to foster development as well as international cooperation. अब यही यूनाइटेड नेशंस इज फेसिंग एग्जिस्टेंशियल क्राइसिस। अब ये क्राइसिस ना ही किसी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट का है, ना ही किसी आइडियोलॉजी का है, बट ये क्राइसिस फाइनेंशियल है। यूनाइटेड नेशंस जो दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी मल्टीलेटरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, इज फेसिंग अ सीवियर फाइनेंशियल क्रंच। अब या तो काफी कंट्रीज ने इसको फंडिंग देनी बंद कर दी है या फंडिंग काफी कम कर दी है, जिसका इंपैक्ट यूएन के डेवलपमेंट मिशंस पर, यूएन के सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स पर, एज वेल एज पीस कीपिंग ऑपरेशंस पर हो रहा है। सो इन दिस वीडियो वी विल बी कवरिंग दैट how UN is being funded, how and why it is facing the financial crunch, and at the same time how these aid realignments is impacting our country, India's development diplomacy, development growth, South-South cooperation, as well as global peace order. Now, before we start the video in detail, let's first understand what is United Nations. So, United Nations was found in the year 1945 after the Second World War. Now, what was its mission? UN को बनाया क्यों गया? We all know, in order to prevent the future global conflict similar to the post-World War II, and then also to foster or to spread peace, to spread development, to spread nation building among the nations of that time. Now its member states, it has, as I said, largest multilateral organization. It has 193 member states. And where are its headquarters? Its headquarters are in New York, that's in USA. Now we'll quickly see the key organs of the United Nations. Now the first one is United Nations General Assembly. Now United Nations General Assembly is also known as World's टाउन हॉल। अब इस जनरल असेंबली में सारे मेंबर स्टेट्स 193 मेंबर स्टेट्स सिट एंड दे डिलिबरेट, दे मेक पॉलिसी, दे डिस्कस, एंड ऑल द मेंबर्स, all the parties have one singular vote. Then comes the United Nations Security Council. अब इसका मेन काम है to promote international peace and security. अब UNSC में we have 5 permanent members as well as 10 non-permanent members. अब हमारे 5 permanent members कौन से हैं? United States of America, United Kingdom, China, Russia and France. And then comes the 10 non-permanent members, जिसमें हमारा सबसे प्यारा neighbor, the global epicenter of jihad, as well as the country which supports state-sponsored terrorism, is presently the member or the non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. That is none other than Pakistan. Then comes ECOSOC. ECOSOC is Economic and Social Council, which has around 54 members which are elected for 3-year term. अब ECOSOC वो ही ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो डेवलपमेंट के एनवायरमेंटल इंपैक्ट को देखती है, इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल इंपैक्ट को देखती है, एंड ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, दिस ECOSOC is the one which implement United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Then comes the judicial wing of the United Nations, that is International Court of Justice. जितनी भी states के बीच में जितने भी dispute होते हैं वो ICJ में जाते हैं, जिसका headquarter is in Hague, that lies in Netherlands. Then comes the United Secretariat. Now this is the administrative wing of the United Nations, and it is headed by the Secretary General, that is Antonio Guterres. He is the present Secretary General of the United Nations. Then come the Trusteeship Council. Now Trusteeship Council का main aim है to look after the trust territories after the independence, but now much or less it has become dormant council. Then we will move to the next, the core functions. United Nations के core functions क्या हैं? The first, peacekeeping operation, जहां पे post conflict पीस लाना हो, डेवलपमेंट करनी हो, नेशन को बिल्ड करना हो, वहां पर यूनाइटेड नेशन के होते हैं पीस कीपिंग ऑपरेशन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यूएन मिस, यूनिफिल, UNDOF, UNDOF. Now UNDOF is of the Golan Heights region, UNIFIL is of Lebanon, and UNMISS of South Sudan. Then comes the human right protection. अब यूनाइटेड नेशंस के पास है ह्यूमन राइट काउंसिल. कहीं पर भी ह्यूमन राइट की वायलेशंस हो रही हैं. द वेरी फेमस एग्जांपल, रोहिंग्यास इन म्यांमार. अब वहां पर यूएनएचआरसी ने कहा, म्यांमार, यू आर doing ethnic cleansing of the Rohingyas. Then comes the climate action. We all have heard in UPSC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. जितने भी climate agreements होंगे, climate treaties होगी, international foundations, international obligatory agreements होंगे, that would be looked after by United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The famous example is Paris Agreement, जिसका गोल है to reduce or to limit the global warming to 1.5 degree Celsius. Then comes the humanitarian aid. We all know UNICEF is providing all sort of emergency food, shelter, education, health in Gaza, in Yemen, or in the Middle Eastern countries जहां पे disputes and conflicts are very much prevalent. Then comes the last, development goals. अब इंडिया में SDG कौन इंप्लीमेंट करता है या कौन देखरेख करता है? We all know the famous think tank of the government of India, that is Niti Aayog, looks after the sustainable development goals in India. For example, SDG 2, that is zero hunger. अब उसके लिए हमारी सरकार ने क्या इनिशिएटिव लिए? We have taken पोषण अभियान, we have taken midday meal scheme, then we have SDG 5, that is gender equality. अब उसके लिए हमने क्या इनिशिएटिव्स लिए? बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ. We have also taken मुद्रा योजना specifically for the women's. So all these are the core functions of the United Nations. अब आती है बात, भाई इतना पैसा अगर यूनाइटेड नेशन लगा रहा है तो यूनाइटेड नेशन के पास इतना पैसा आ कहां से रहा है? सो फर्स्ट थिंग इज असिस्ट कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस. हर कंट्री की जितनी भी पॉपुलेशन है, जितनी भी जीडीपी है, उस हिसाब से वो कंट्री अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन देती है टू दी लार्जेस्ट मल्टीलेटरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, दैट इज यूनाइटेड नेशंस. So the largest is European Union, then comes USA, then comes China, then comes Commonwealth nations, and then comes Japan, South Korea, etc., etc. European Union is contributing collaboratively, that is 24%. United States of America 22%. China around 20%. Commonwealth nations is providing 11%, and हमारा भारत comes under Commonwealth nations, which has contributed 1.1% to the regular budget of the United Nations, and all this data is as per February 2025. Then comes the voluntary contributions. अब UN की अराउंड 15 स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसीज हैं. अब उन स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसीज में आता है वर्ल्ड फूड प्रोग्राम, वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, यूनाइटेड नेशन डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम और यूनिसेफ. अब इन सबको सारी कंट्रीज वॉलंटरी कंट्रीब्यूट करती हैं सो दैट ये अपना काम अच्छे से कर सके. Then comes the current financial crisis. As I've told you, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said in 2023 and reiterated many a times in future as well that United Nations is facing severe liquidity crunch in over a decade. Then comes the key reasons of underfunding the UN. Now first is United States of America. अब डोनाल्ड ट्रंप का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कहता है यूनाइटेड नेशन अगर तुम ट्रंप के अगेंस्ट कोई स्टेप लोगे, इजराइल के अगेंस्ट कोई स्टेप लोगे या कोई ऐसा रेजोल्यूशन पास करोगे जो हमारे इंटरेस्ट के खिलाफ है, तो मैं तो अपनी फंडिंग रोक दूंगा. एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू, इट इज कंट्रीब्यूटिंग 22% टू द यूनाइटेड नेशंस. देन कम्स the political conditionalities. Now what does this mean? अब चाइना कहता है, रशिया एंड यूएसए कहता है कि भाई हम इतना पैसा यूनाइटेड नेशन को दे रहे हैं तो जो उसके डिसीजंस हैं वो हमारे फेवर में होने चाहिए. चाइना कहता है यूनाइटेड नेशन में ताइवान का नाम मत लो. रशिया कहता है यूक्रेन का डिस्प्यूट मत डिस्कस करो. यूएसए कहता है ह्यूमन राइट वायलेशंस मत डिस्कस करो जितने भी यूएसए में हो रहे हैं. सो दोस कम अंडर दी पॉलिटिकल कंडीशनैलिटीज. देन कम्स दी डोनर फटीग. अब जितनी भी कंट्रीज हैं स्पेशली आफ्टर द कोविड पीरियड, दे आर फेसिंग आइदर इन्फ्लेशन और दे आर have fear of the recession, and at the same time they are involved in the post COVID recovery method, and that is why they are not providing much funds to the United Nations. Then comes the global crisis, the Russia Ukraine war, Israel Gaza war, Israel Iran conflict, the present Cambodia Thailand conflict. All these are impacting the domestic economy and forcing the government of these countries to spend more money on their domestic fronts, domestic borders, rather than contributing to the international organizations. तो अब ये सारे reasons हैं UN के अंडर फंड होने के. Then comes the consequences. अब इसके consequences क्या होंगे? First, missions have been downsized. For example, there was a mission MINUSMA in Mali. Now this is a country in Africa. यहाँ के peacekeeping operation को backstep करना पड़ा due to limited amount of funds as well as operations. Then comes the peacekeeping cutbacks. अब इसका एक example मैं देता हूँ. There is a country that is Haiti which is located among the Caribbean nations. यहां पर 2019 में यूएन ने अपने पीस कीपिंग ऑपरेशंस को कहा कि नाउ इट्स देयर इज पीस, हमारे पास फंड की भी कमी है तो अब आप वापस आ जाओ. बट after UN peacekeeping operations left or the peacekeepers left Haiti, then there was a rise of gang violence in that country. Then comes UN के जितने भी offices हैं Nairobi, in Geneva, in New York, the staff is facing shortage of salaries, the reduced travel as well as the limited operations. Then comes the main SDG goals which UN organizations, the specialized agencies are implementing. For example, UNDP climate adaptation programs in Bangladesh as well as Mozambique. Even the UN Women is running several education and nutrition programs in many of the countries which they have to cut due to less amounts of fund being provided to the United Nations. So all these are the consequences. अब आता है हमारे भारत का रोल, हमारे इंडिया का रोल. Now the first one is that we are the top contributor to the UN peacekeeping operations. We have contributed around almost 2.9 lakh troops in more than 50 plus UN missions, 2.9 lakh peacekeepers in more than 50 plus UN missions. We have also played a critical role in Congo, in Lebanon, Rwanda, Ethiopia and all the African countries. Then we are vocal supporter of multilateralism, no more unipolar world, then democracy as well as UN reforms. And last, we are also the part of G4 grouping. अब G4 grouping में आता है, we have India, then we have Brazil, we have Germany and we have Japan. Now all the four countries are the part of G4 who is asking for larger level reforms in the United Nations Security Council to make it more representative and to expand it in the further stage. Then comes the next, अगर इंडिया का रिस्पॉन्स क्या होना चाहिए to all the aid realignments. फर्स्ट भाई, अब पहले का टाइम और था जब इंडिया बाहर का एक्सटर्नल एड पे डिपेंड करता था, बट नाउ इंडिया हैज बिकम अ डोनर, इंडिया हैज बिकम अ इक्वल डेवलपमेंट पार्टनर. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वी हैव प्रोवाइडेड लाइन्स ऑफ क्रेडिट टू मेनी ऑफ आवर नेबर्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अफगानिस्तान, नेपाल, Bhutan, Bangladesh. We have provided so much fund to all these countries. Bhutan or hydroelectric projects, Nepal to the roads, to the power projects here as well. Afghanistan, Salma Dam, Parliament building. We are providing fund to all these countries. Then we have also provided grants to Sri Lanka, Mauritius. Sri Lanka, when was facing the economic crisis, we provided them $4 billion of grants. Then Mauritius, we are building the Supreme Court building in the Mauritius country. Then comes domestic welfare schemes. अब हमारी schemes है, for example, आयुष्मान भारत योजना, प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना. All these योजनाs are being funded from the domestic front. हम किसी भी बाहर की organization या any sort of NGO पे नहीं depend करते. We are donors and equal development partners, and we are not dependent on any foreign source of income. Then comes increased strategic autonomy. अब इंडिया की फॉरेन पॉलिसी हमारे कहने पे चलेगी, ना कि किसी और कंट्री के कहने पे चलेगी, जहां पे वर्ल्ड बैंक, IMF या कोई भी इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन कोई बाउंडेशन रख रहा है इंडिया के ऊपर कि अपनी फॉरेन पॉलिसी ऐसे नहीं ऐसे चलाओ. सो वी आर इंडिपेंडेंट एंड वी कैन टेक आवर ओन डिसीजंस. वेरी फेमस एग्जांपल इज आत्मनिर्भर भारत. आत्मनिर्भर भारत, in which we all have seen after Operation Sindoor, our defense exports have risen to 23,000 crore rupees, and major other, even in the health aid, जहां पहले दूसरी कंट्री से हेल्थ का एड लेते थे, हेल्थ के लिए हेल्प लेते थे. टुडे इंडिया इज वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट ग्लोबल ड्रग सप्लायर टू द वर्ल्ड. देन कम्स शिफ्ट टू साउथ साउथ कोऑपरेशन. अब जितनी भी साउथ कंट्रीज हैं उसके लिए हम पूरा अपना सहयोग देते हैं एज बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इंडिया अफ्रीका फोरम समिट. Then we have IBSA, that is India, Brazil, South Africa. Even the BRIC country, in which they also provide fund and loans to many of the low developing economies as well. अब South cooperation के बाद आता है what is South cooperation. आखिर ये Global South है क्या? So basically Global South covers all the important continent of the Latin America, Africa, as well as the South Asian countries which have common history of colonialism, the economic inequality, as well as the socio-economic challenges which these countries have faced, and they also are historically marginalized and vulnerable sections of the population. Then comes इसका origin, इस global south या south cooperation का origin कहां पे हुआ इन countries का. So basically it was originated during the year 1955 in a very famous conference, that is Bandung conference, which also led to NAM later on. But ये इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज कब हुआ? जब यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने 1974 में अपना एक ऑफिस बनाया, दैट इज यूएन ऑफिस ऑफ साउथ कोऑपरेशन. अब यूनाइटेड नेशन इसको लीगली रिकॉग्नाइज कर रहा है एंड सारी कंट्रीज को एक साथ एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर लेकर चल रहा है. देन कम्स इंडियाज रोल इन साउथ कोऑपरेशन. नाउ द फर्स्ट थिंग कम्स डेवलपमेंट पार्टनरशिप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. इट वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन द ईयर 2012 अंडर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स टू लुक आफ्टर ऑल द लाइंस ऑफ क्रेडिट, द ग्रांट, द कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्रोग्राम्स, द डिजास्टर रिलीफ. ये MEA के अंडर सारी कंट्रीज को हम जितना ग्रांट दे रहे हैं उसकी देखभाल ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन करता है. देन कम ITEC. अब ITEC was established established in the year 1964, which looks after the capacity building as well as the technical assistance. अब इसके अंडर we have trained more than 15,000 civil servants across more than 100 countries annually. हम किस चीज में ट्रेन करते हैं? एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्ट्रक्चर, फाइनेंशियल मैटर्स, डिजास्टर रिलीफ एंड ऑल अदर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग measures which India provides to the other developing economies. Then we also provide tele-education and telemedicine to majority of the African countries, and their name are E-Vidya Bharati as well as E-Arogya Bharati. E-Arogya Bharati. All these are the examples which you can also use in your mains examination. Now we will quickly see all the key initiatives which India runs or India is a part of. Now the first one is Africa E-Network. Now Africa E-Network covers all the tele-education as well as the telemedicine which is being provided to more than 50 African countries. Then comes International Solar Alliance in partnership with France to provide the solar energy to all the tropical countries. Then India UN Development Partnership Fund. Now this is being looked after by United Nations Office of South-South Cooperation, जहां पर India जितना भी fund हो सके it provides to the Latin American countries, African countries, जितनी भी उनकी problems हैं to look after them. Then comes the important vaccine Maitri. Now we have provided around 2 lakh vaccines to the UN peacekeepers as well as 66 million vaccines to more than 95 plus countries during the COVID-19 pandemic. Then comes regional peacekeeping, technology driven and gender inclusion. As I've told you, India is one of the largest troop contributing country to the United Nations peacekeeping operations. Now we are also making use of the AI as well as the drones, and by mean of gender inclusion I mean that in the year 2007 we sent all India or all women contingent to the country that is Liberia. So that means हमने women को भी आगे किया है in peacekeeping operations. Then come IPSA fund, that is India, Brazil, South Africa fund to reduce poverty in the global south countries. Then BRICS Bank, also the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, whose headquarters are located in Beijing, China. Then comes One Sun, One World, One Grid in order to provide the transnational solar grid connectivity. And then Global Biofuel Alliance, जिसके founding members थे India, Brazil and USA in order to promote the ethanol blending. And then comes G20 Health Working Group under India's presidency, in which we प्लान्ड कि डिजास्टर अगर दोबारा आए, पैंडेमिक दोबारा है, उसके लिए हमें कितना प्रिपेयर्ड रहना है, ऑल द डायग्नोस्टिक लैब्स एंड एक्सेट्रा रिलेटेड टू बीइंग वैक्सीन्स बीइंग प्रोवाइडेड टू मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द सिटीजंस अक्रॉस द ग्लोब. देन रिपीटेड कॉल फॉर यूएनएससी रिफॉर्म्स टू एक्सपैंड द यूनाइटेड नेशंस सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल एंड हैव weightage of Asian countries, the African countries as well as the South American countries. Then last, we also host the Voice of Global South Summit, in which we invite participants or representatives of more than 125 countries. And with this, I conclude the entire UN funding cuts as well as aid realignment with the statement by the Honorable External Affairs Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar, in which he very dramatically reiterated that India is not just a stakeholder in the global order, rather it is increasingly shaping that order in the entire world. With this, I conclude. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.